Hey guys, welcome to APG. I'm excited to show you Bronco Pro Runner. I'm excited to release a whole series of videos talking about the differences between different Bronco models, what Ford did, and how we did it. And we think we did a little better job. All right, so with that, let's show you Bronco Pro Runner. So I bring to you Bronco Pro Runner in all of her glory. Okay, we're gonna jump right into the details. You guys have already seen the vehicle ripping around the desert. You've seen it at the shows, but I wanna jump in. I wanna give you an in-depth dive and walk around of the vehicle and go over some of the things that we did and how we did it. Okay, so Bronco Pro Runner. We are talking about a very complex, all carbon wide body system that is customizable. And we're gonna get into the details a little bit more when I show you the comparison of the parts. I'm gonna start at the corner of the vehicle and I'm gonna do a bit of walk around, okay? Starting on body, since it's the most visual. We took the width out of the flare section of the fender and added it to the primary. Then we've got a secondary flare, just like the factory, that's customizable. Right now we've got our 1-inch flare, which allows for a bit more tire reveal and a more aggressive look. We also have a 3-inch flare, which will give you half tire coverage. And we also have a 5-inch flare, which will sit flush with the side of the tire. The front fender components comprise of 4 different components. We've got the actual flare, the primary fender, which is a complete bolt-on replacement. We've got the front chin, which aids and assists in the transition of the body so it's not too abrupt. And then also a reinforcement / carbon wheel well liner. We've got larger tires, we have more suspension travel, we need greater clearance for this large tire to travel. So the replacement wheel well liner actually brings it all together and ties it. It also looks really nice. Obviously copying that over to the passenger side. All right, now we're gonna jump into the rear body system. The rear body system consists of 6 various components. We've got a rear transition trim, we've got the primary fender, we've got a 3D printed fuel door, which everyone already likes that one. We've also got the matching flare selection from the front. We've got a reinforcement extension liner brace for the back that keeps everything rigid and stiff. We've also got the door transition trim that keeps everything flowing nicely, and it's got that look that you guys love so much. All right, now, since we increased our tire size so large, we know the factory tailgate tire carrier is not gonna support this weight. So we partnered up with Expedition One, and they've come up with an incredible rear bumper system for us, and it does exactly just that. We're fully supporting a 40-inch tall tire that's 143 pounds. It has got a steel frame, it's got double shackle mounts, incorporates all your proximity sensors. It also has room for some rear lights. One of our favorite parts about this rear bumper system isn't just the mechanics. We have to include this bumper in our Pro Runner system because it is the only rear bumper capable of carrying so much mass. One of the aspects of aftermarket rear bumpers is sometimes the functionality is kind of reduced over factory, and we don't want to sacrifice things. And this is what makes it so much better. Not only does it have the mechanical characteristics to carry that weight, it's a single stage opening process, right? Meaning you don't need to unlatch your carrier, then a second stage of opening your tailgate. Unlike everybody else, I want to open and close. I just want to grab my gear, do what I'm doing, and just kind of move on with that step and not have it be so cumbersome. So very, very happy with this. Again, we like this bumper system better than anything else. We're very pleased with the work, the fit and finish, the quality. So right on. And one of the things that we had to add our own little touch to it is adding our rear winch system. There really is nowhere suitable to put a winch in the front, so we put it in the back. I'm gonna open this up so you can get a little bit better view on there. We've got an S8 8K winch built in between the frame rails with our own proprietary skid plate system, and this jumps out the back. You can run an optional aftermarket bumper in the front with a winch, but we think it sticks out. It blocks a lot of airflow, messes with the camera system, the adaptive cruise control, the proximity sensors. We decided to omit that, but if you wanted that option, you can, but we went ahead and put it here in the rear bumper, and we're happy with it. It's completely slim, takes up no real estate, tucks up completely out of the way, and also doubles as a rear skid plate, also stiffening the rear frame. If you happen to need to get yourself back out of a situation or pull somebody up through something, you also have that option. All right, guys, now that we've finished talking about the body system, we're gonna jump into the meat and the potatoes of the suspension. All right, so we're gonna talk about the componentry. APG's all billet upper control arm is 3.5 inches wider than stock. It's got a 1.5 inch uniball with a dust cap. The unique option about our upper control arms is you can align them and make adjustments while installed on the vehicle. We incorporated some adjuster sleeves into each pivot point, so if you had to make some adjustments, you won't need to completely remove the component. Front lower control arm again is 3.5 inches. Front pivot, wider than a factory component. We're using 1-inch uniballs at the pivots, as well as another 1-inch uniball at the ball joint. Going back to the bottom, we are reusing factory spindles. They're definitely strong enough. We haven't had any failures on them. Ford did a great job really making those things just absolutely beefy. We are running a 8-inch stroke 3.0 king coilover. It's got internal bypass. It's got long fin resis with compression adjusters. These are sprung and valved specifically to Bronco Pro Runner. We do have an optional 3-tube bypass option for the guys that are really going to be running it really hard, or they want even additional adjustments and additional suspension performance improvement. We've teamed up with RCV on the CV axles. These things are bulletproof. Chromoly, 300 mm turtles. They're designed and made for race cars. You're not going to have an issue there. Tie rods, tie rods, tie rods, tie rods. Complete tie rod replacement system. We're using Heim joints on the inner and the outer. Billet with a steel kick. We're going to get into that a little bit later. And obviously kind of tying it up all together with some replacement boots to get that rack system sealed. And moving to the front of the suspension system, we're running 2.0 threaded air bump setups. Frame welded, and these are fully adjustable. We're going to get into that a little bit more, but this is something that makes the suspension system really modular. You know, I want to be able to adjust different ride heights and different impact bump zones for different tire sizes. So, you know, kind of jumping into that. We've completely cut off the entire shock tower. We did that because we wanted to fit a larger body coilover. We also did that because we wanted to put a longer coilover. So we kind of stretched that mount position a little bit taller, which is going to give us, you know, a longer, taller shock, which up travel is where we really wanted to increase that. And we feel that we've done a good job of that. So you don't need to run the bypasses. It is an available option. And you know, we knew we were going to run a heavy tire. The 2.5s just weren't going to cut it. So if you don't want to run the optional bypasses, this 3.0 with internal bypass is really going to be just fine for everyday driving and even aggressive off-road driving. All right, guys, so here in the rear setup, we're running an equal 3-inch diameter king coilover. But this coilover is 14 inches long. It's got a 14-inch overall shock throw. On a solid axle, we needed to jump up that overall length to get that articulation we wanted with the limited real estate that we were working with. Again, the shock is 14 inches in length. It's got a similar long fin remote reservoir with compression adjusters. The primary's got an internal bypass. And again, it is sprung and valve proprietary for Bronco Pro Runner. Just like the front, we went ahead and chopped off the rear shock towers and raised and reinforced and braced those. Getting that overall shock mounting position from its original location taller is letting us get more body without tubbing the body. And that's something that we're really proud of. We did not send the shock through the body, so you don't have to deal with any debris or excess noise or even getting too crazy into making irreversible modifications to the vehicle. And even though we are doing some custom fabrication to the frame, this is technically reversible. As well as the front, we do have an optional 3-tube bypass. This one's got a 12-inch stroke based on the positioning, and we have these tuned in valves specifically for Pro Runner. But of course, the customer can make any fine-tune adjustments out there on the trail. The rear has also got an adjustable 2.0 threaded bump stop. So now we're gonna jump into the rear end suspension componentry. Our rear end suspension link system is completely reworked. It's got all new upper control arms, lower control arm, track bar brackets, axle brackets, pivot point brackets on the frame, the works. It's not just axle bracketry that's new, it's a complete replacement rear axle. Typically, a lot of customers who go for a front long travel setup will space out the rear. And even we have done this in the past, but that's simply not gonna work on Bronco Pro Runner. We've done a complete replacement plus 7-inch rear axle assembly, and that's a Dana 60. It is a semi-float, it's got a massive pumpkin, available in a factory electronic locker or an optional air locker, depending on what you like. Again, the axle is 7 inches wider than stock. That's gonna give you the width that you need to match the front suspension without sacrificing long-term drivability or functionality on and off-road. All right, this axle just isn't wider, it's stronger. We've jumped up from a Dana 40 to a Dana 60. This has got stronger tube housing, stronger pumpkins, stronger rings, stronger pinions, stronger everything. And this is gonna allow you to run a heavy 40-inch tall tire with a lot of sprung and unsprung mass without having any risk off-road. Some of the optional accessories you're gonna see on this particular Bronco Pro Runner. What we did here in the back is we tied in a little quick air chuck disconnect. It's tied into a twin piston ARB compressor that's under the hood. And we've also got some split tees on there so you can inflate these big 40-inch tall tires all at the same time. We've got a quick connect in the rear bumper. We've got another one in the front bumper. On top of building your Pro Runner with us, we stock a lot of aftermarket components. We've got Baja Designs lights, rock sliders, skid plates, aftermarket front bumpers, winch bumpers. We've got roof racks. We're gonna start down at the bottom with what we equip this vehicle with. We've got the Baja Designs full fog pocket kit with the upfitter connection. We've got the 6-light upper bumper bar, which has got some spots in the middle and a bit of combos on the outside. We've got the XL linkable up on the roof. We've got rock lights. We've got rear chase lights, rear bumper lights, brake lights. Since you've got so many lighting options, you will run out of factory upfitter switches. So we religiously will work with Switch Pro or S-Pod and get you some additional source connections. This vehicle has got a Ford Performance calibration tune inside of it, which gets you a little extra horsepower kick on top of there, which it's also got some calibration options in there for axle ratio and some other functionality, which we're gonna get into more later. Bronco Pro Runner, this is not your average kit. Take a look at everything that comes completely standard. There are a lot of options, add-ons even on top of this, but if you see what you get for the most elaborate Bronco package in the world, take a look. Just quick little rundown. We've already spent a lot of time going over all the components, but look at all that's included. Full carbon wide body, 5 Toyo or Nitto 40-inch tall tires, 5 bead locks, front coilovers, rear coilovers, front bump stops, rear bump stops, all new rear bracketry, all new links, all new mounts, whole front suspension system, upper control arms, lower control arms, tie rods. We have a friend, he's not included in it. Upper shock towers, rear shock towers, all double adjustable joints, track bars, whole new rear bumper system, as we went over in the video, that's capable of supporting a 40-inch tall beadlock tire. Whole new rear axle. The only item missing in this entire setup, everything you see laid out in front of me, is the front axle. Those are due to arrive momentarily and we'll get this image updated. But everything you see here is all included. Very comprehensive, very inclusive, no corners cut, the best of the best, and that's what you deserve. We hope you enjoyed what you saw, and we hope you're able to notice the details that we worked day and night for over a year developing. We've got over a foot of increased wheel travel. We've got an immaculate, beautiful, proven body system. We've got a functional, long travel suspension system that cycles and clears in the entire body. Everything is manufactured to the highest specification, so you, the end user, has a way better experience. We did not cut any corners, and we hope you appreciate that. Hey, we hope you guys like what you saw. Consider hitting the subscribe button if you want to watch more content just like this. Thanks for tuning in.